Hi. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, what do we got here? So, I appreciate you coming here today. And we are rounding out our final video for Jethro Tull, Songs from the Wood. We are about to listen to the full album, and we may do another bonus. I'll do a bonus track at least that were on some of the 40th anniversary releases. And so, yeah, we're going to finish it out here. And but thanks for being here. Thanks for coming through the album, rolling through the album with me. And yeah, my name is Scott. This is Subterranean Visions. Sort of a take on the Subterraneans, the Kerouac novel about his engagement in the underground, jazz bebop scene in the late 40s, early 50s. And yeah, we're here to sort of, investigate everything we've known and the unknown in, multiple and all genres of music. Everything from, classical to, classical to jazz to progressive rock to world music, punk, electronica, everything in between. So I appreciate you being here. Yeah. So we're going to, we're going to go into the last couple songs of Jethro Tull, Songs from the Wood, and upcoming future full albums we have slated are Joni Mitchell's For the Roses and Gil Scott-Heron's Profiles of a Man. And then we'll have some more polls, for some new full albums. Give recommendations. We can start those polls up anytime, and keep the list long. So other things, monthly, all your recommendations, I'd write everything down. I make a list. I try to listen through it. And then once a month, I'm going to basically compile a list of some of the best recommendations in my eyes that you guys have given me, some of the greatest songs that you've given me to listen to, and then put about a little short, 3 to 4 song medley of those. So I appreciate it very much. And then lastly, we're going to try to get into a couple new genres that I haven't done as much on the channel, and that is electric blues and punk. So if you can give me, some choices for you guys in your eyes, 3 to 5 of the top, electric blues and pops, punk songs in the last 50 years, 60 years, that'd be great. And I want to incorporate that, into a video for some of your choices and some of my top choices. And be a great exploration, a great, marathon of some electric blues and punk tunes. So that'd be great to get into. That being said, let's finish off the Jethro Tull, Songs from the Wood, 1977. This is a first listen for me. But I've kind of ended off myself with Minstrel in the Gallery. I haven't listened to too much after that. If I did, it was sort of an initial listen, and it just, at the time that I listened to it, which is probably could be 20 years ago, when I sort of ventured forward with Jethro Tull's discography. And at that time, it wasn't something that I was like, I felt like it was going in a different direction. So this came out February 1977. Obviously you have Ian Anderson, Martin Barr, those were original members. John Evans on piano, organ and synth. Barrymore Barlow, drums, marimba, glockenspiel, bells, etc. And I think he'd been around since Thick as a Brick. And then John Glasscock on bass guitar and vocals. David Palmer was a new member, I believe, on this one, and did contribute to a number of songs. And he's also on piano, synth, and portative organ, which I think, kind of stands out and gave it a lot of their sort of neoclassical and folk feel on this particular album. So, without further ado, let us get to Fire at Midnight. And here we go.
fires at midnight, when the dogs have all been fed. A golden toddy on the mantle, a broken gun beneath. makeup, fold your clothes neatly away. Me, I'll sit and write this love song as I all too seldom do. Build a little fire this midnight. It's good to be back home with you.
Interesting ending. It just kind of teeters off and just kind of slumps down. It just kind of slumps down right at the end. That's strange. Okay. Yeah, I like that song. It's really just, yeah, it's a cute little ode, as he says. He says he seldom writes these love songs. But yeah, I like the lyrics to it. The feel of it is very like light and too much hurry ruins the body. I'll sit easy, fan the spark, kindled by the dying embers of another working day. Go upstairs, take off your makeup, fold your clothes neatly away. Me, I'll sit and write this love song as I all too seldom do. Build a little fire this midnight. It's good to be back home with you. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's a nice song. And yeah, introduction a little bit more the electric guitar. And yeah, honestly, my takeaway in that one little segment is, as interesting it is to have the synths mixed with the sort of old time classical Baroque feel with the acoustic instruments mixed with kind of folk with Baroque with modern instruments with the synth and stuff like that. That's an interesting juxtaposition for sure. It's not something that's like comfortable with everybody, but it's interesting. But for me, yeah, the electric guitar, I mean, I can take everything else with some curiosity, but I don't know, the electric guitar, I just don't, honestly, my takeaway is I don't see its addition here and really doing anything necessary. I say you can look at it as a positive. It's a cool thing to have on there as a tonal change from every other instrument on here. Obviously, there's a lot of diversity with the sounds, between the percussion and the different organ, piano, synth sounds, and then you have the flute, fife, whistles, acoustic guitar, 12-string guitar, mandolin. So you've got a lot of changes of instruments. And honestly, the only one where I don't really see the necessity of it is the electric guitar. I don't really see the need for the electric guitar. Mainly because it's just the tone of it, the distortion. I feel like it stays the same throughout. It's just very, to me, it's kind of just run of the mill, and I get that's his sound. Like he said, that sound, throughout the ages, throughout the band, and a very distinct sound, and it's his sort of, it's what everybody knows his sound from, whether it's from Locomotive Breath, up to here, it's the same sound more or less. But yeah, I don't really see the need for it. I don't understand its addition here. I mean, I get it. He's in the band. You have to incorporate it somewhere in the songs, whether it's just melodically or harmonically or with the chord progressions. But, if it was not here at all, I just don't think it would be missed. I don't think it's necessary. So, I mean, there's probably other things on this album. It's not necessary. You don't have to have this thematically. So even just ornamentally, I don't see it. I don't need it. Anyway, that's the only one major thing that I can take away from this as a net negative, I would say, or a critique. As a good critique, I don't see the need for it. So, but yeah, other than that, yeah, I really like the instrumentation on all the songs on here. On this one, yeah, I like it. It's really light. So I'm not sure if I've become accustomed to it over time, but I really feel like starting with Ring Out, Solstice Bells, Everything past that, the second side to me is just, I feel like it's all really consistently good, and it really feels like it's easy to sort of take in as a first listen. The first side, I would say, is a little bit harder to listen to, sort of harder to sort of grasp. The overall, the arrangements and stuff were like more complex. So yeah, on a first listen, they're a little bit more sort of just as a bystander, just sort of take it in and to see what's happening, but a little less sort of understandable, digestible. Which I get it. That's Jethro Tull in a sense. That's always going to be part of their appeal, and part of their sort of complexity is always there. So, but maybe if I just went right now and just started listening to that first side again, maybe it would just kind of fall in line and just feel like, okay, it's actually me just becoming a little bit more attuned to it over time. So, but we will see. I will listen to it. I will listen to it again. So we'll see how that first side sort of grabs me on the second time around. A lot of things take a little bit more time to sort of, have it get inside your skin a little bit more. So, but yeah, as a first reaction, I would say, yeah, the second side and the end of the first side and the second side were something that I feel like it was definitely something I would gravitate towards and listen to again. So yeah, interesting album in there. Apparently this is the first of a 3 set of albums, the 2 albums that came after this sort of continue on their sort of folk rock fusion. I mean, they've always been a sort of folk rock fusion, but this one definitely, with the addition of the synthesizers, definitely throws it into a new vortex, I would say. But that was interesting, especially coming off of Gentle Giant with their electronic use. So this one, it kind of like, okay, it's in the Jethro Tull, so I can see where it's, and we talked about that, the introduction of synths and stuff like that with different music. Is a curiosity, it's definitely it's a choice. I guess you can just look at the choices and be interested in the way that they're used and utilized, as opposed to other more acoustic music or acoustic instrumentation that we're used to. So yeah, well, that was the last song. So let's we've listened to the full Jethro Tull album, but since we have a lot of choices for bonus tracks, let's fill out this last video with a couple of the bonus tracks just to have some fun with it. So I think on the bonus tracks, the 2003 one is, I think the one they put foremost as a bonus track was, other than a live version of Velvet Green, they put this song Beltane. So I don't know if that was the go-to bonus. There's a couple more bonus tracks on the one that I downloaded. So there was Old Aces Die Hard, Working John, Working Joe. There's another version, Magic Bells. I don't know if that's a different version they recorded that wasn't put out. The record company did not choose to put out after all. So I don't know if that was a reimagining of Ring Out, Solstice Bells. And then we have One Brown Mouse and Strip Cartoon. And then there was the Whistler, a U.S. single mix. So I don't see Beltane. So maybe let's listen to One Brown Mouse. I'm going to take a shot. This sounds like it might be a little bit more acoustically friendly. So here we go.
Smile, you little smile. Take some tea with me a while. Brush away that black cloud from your shoulder, to which your whiskers feel that you're really real. Another tea time, another day older. Puff one breath from your tiny hands. You wish you were a man. Oh, every day can turn another page. Behind your glass, you sit and look at my ever-open book. One brown mouse sitting in a cage. Do you wonder if I really care for you? Am I just the company you keep? Which one of us exercises on the old treadmill? Who watches who while the others asleep? Smile, you little smile. Take some tea with me a while. Brush away that black cloud from your shoulder, which your whiskers feel that you're really real. Another tea time, another day older. Smile, you little smile. Take some tea with me a while. And every day we'll turn another page. Behind your glass you sit and look at my ever-open book. One brown mouse sitting in a cage. One brown mouse sitting in a cage. One brown mouse sitting in a cage.
Yeah, I really like that, actually. I don't know what it is. I mean, sometimes it's great when you do hear the bonus tracks and you like the bonus tracks so much, and you're like, God, I wish that was a part of the album. I wonder what was the reason for not including it as part. Maybe it just didn't fit with the rest of the consistently with the rest of the album. But I don't know. I feel like that kind of fits in. It's kind of a loose album of ideas of sort of just old, characters, and having, one about just a mouse and you, and just sharing these introspections about, days passing and things like that. Certainly fits in, with the album in my mind. And, yeah, so I really like that. I would listen to that, I think, equally as I would anything else on the album, honestly. Let's just do the other version. I want to hear the other version of Magic Bells. This one was the one that was redone, but it was not accepted by the record company, called Magic Bells. So this wasn't something I think Ian Anderson or the rest of the band wanted to do. But, it's a different arrangement, so I'm interested to hear another way of it playing. So let's listen to Magic Bells. Ring out solstice bells.
Now it's the solstice of the year. Winter is the gladsome measure here. 7 days move in 7 time. Apple lights up ready in a line. is the sun. Joyful as the silver planets run. 7 days move in 7 time. Sing the song that bells call loudly chiming.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting. I see the attempt at the sort of commerciality and marketing that the record companies were trying to project and garner some probably much needed. Anyway, yeah. So it's interesting though. Yeah, it feels a little out of the character of a Jethro Tull. I kept picturing like it's going to be part of some Christmas special, or they're going to be on, special guest or some. Imagine them on like Christmas Hallmark movie, or even like on whatever was on the morning shows of the period, late 70s. Ladies and gentlemen, Jethro Tull to perform a special Christmas song for all of us, and yeah, really a merging of two worlds. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, it's a little too run of the mill. Yeah, Purple Eye Jethro Tull. But I get the appeal. It sort of definitely has it still has some of the core substance, of their song, the original. But yeah, it's a much more sort of mundane take on it. But yeah, so there's a couple bonus tracks. Yeah, I really liked, the mouse. What was it? One Brown Mouse. Really like that. So yeah, overall, I'm glad I listened to this for sure, because I feel like it's right in line. It's the next one of some that I have not heard. So it's the beginning of their sort of a detour in different ways, of their sound, that I haven't gone down. So it's the first one, and I feel like, while it's not the detour that, leads to necessary gold for me, it's not a detour that I would say, it's more of a going away from the period. It's the sort of send off down a road from a period that I, savor and find to be, their most appealing, most engaging, which is probably their first 10 years or so. But as their first album, as for this change, it is definitely something. It's interesting, I like it. I honestly, I can say like it would in a sense, if I was going to go down a different road of Jethro Tull, it definitely would find something engaging as far as being just more, not just acoustically, because I don't mind the, the introduction of either the synth or something like that in sort of tempered areas, I don't mind that. But yeah, if there's any of the stuff that goes, that's a little bit more, I think the songwriting is like kind of, relatively on par. I would say it takes a little bit of a lowered, as far as the songwriting from their first, whatever number of albums from their first album this was to Minstrel in the Gallery, I feel like is super strong. And so I'd say the songwriting on the whole, maybe is a little bit lower tier in my, in a comparison base, which you don't have to compare them. But I would just say, yeah, the strength of them, isn't quite as much. But there are definitely pockets some really great songwriting. Obviously, the storytelling, lyrically, I would say it's on par. And then as far as just the musicianship and the arranging and things like that, I would say it takes it's a little bit different that for me is not as strong. But there's some changes that make up for it. So I think acoustically, the acoustics of it is really good. I really like the addition of all the instruments, whether it's the fife, the mandolins. I feel like they had 12 string on there. The different whistles and the percussion, all that stuff kind of adds to it. The synth and the organ and the piano, I do like. I think it actually adds to it because it's not overdone. It's not, covering it up entirely. So yeah, I think all that kind of adds to it, the strength of it. So it definitely adds to it enough where I think I'm going to, take a second listen to this album, listen to it again, and then contemplate, future Jethro Tull. So if any recommendations for stuff on those areas where I think are the most strengths, whereas I like the instrumentation towards more the acoustical side, but also could include the synth. And if anything's in that avenue where you think the songs are strong comparatively to older Jethro Tull, I would love to hear any recommendations with that, because I know there's a lot of albums going forward, but I know there's a lot of differences between people that like this period, like that period, and where they're kind of go back to the where they're just like full steam ahead. It's always new changes. But yeah, I'd love to hear some recommendations for other albums that I think are equally strong or even stronger than this one in the future, in those senses versus acoustics, synthesizer, or just the songwriting. And songwriting in general you think is better. So yeah, anyway, I feel it's a really good round out. Yeah, I feel like overall the last song and then the second side I feel started to either just get to me a little bit more, maybe just being attenuated to it, the sound a little bit, or just I feel like just the way the songs, they kind of just the way they did them on the album. I feel like it just sort of the second side sort of gravitated me a little bit better. So again, that's going to round out this one. So we've got more full albums coming. Joni Mitchell, Gil Scott-Heron. All your recommendations are going to be coming out again in the month of June. So all your recommendations, I'm going to sort of listen to them, write them down, and bring them back to you with like 3 or 4 tunes, the best of. And I look forward to that because I always love hearing the new recommendations. So some of them are just really, really awesome. And then, blues, electric blues, and punk. Top 3, top 5, just some great tunes that you guys can give to me. And I'm going to put them into a video because I want to really incorporate your guys's with some of my best choices and just kind of have a good back and forth with that. Some new genres that I haven't spent as much time on this channel. That being said, the Canterbury scene is ever going. It's going on for another who knows how many weeks. But we're not even halfway through the retrospective, so there's a lot of more bands coming, and I'll put them down in the comments. The full list of bands, about 20 groups. So I will put them in every Canterbury scene video. So if you want to see the extensive list of everything I'm going to be doing, it'll be right there. So, all right. It is Memorial Day here. It is a Sunday Memorial Day, so I'm going to go enjoy some good weather, take a walk, have some good food, and I hope you guys do the same. And appreciate everything you guys are here for. I love doing it, and look forward to the next one. Okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye.